recall how a few months after I was ordained, maybe 8 or 10 months after ordination, that I was busy engaged in some finance and administrative work. Before I joined the Redemptorists, I had worked in the area of auditing and finance, and I suppose I have a reputation for being able to get finance projects completed. I was in the midst of the work, making progress, when I got a phone call. I was interrupted, and I resented the interruption. And as a result of the phone call, I was asked to go downstairs in the Redemptorist community. And there I met a young man who wanted to speak to me. He was in his early 20s. And as we spoke, his story unfolded. He had received the news that he had a brain tumor, and he was frightened and unsure, and he was nervous. And he wanted company and friendship, some reassurances. And through that journey with him, it was a profoundly learning time for myself. And as I look back, I think that though I was interrupted, the interruption led to new learning and to an experience of God's grace and God's Spirit. I recall how one great spiritual writer once said that we must allow ourselves to be interrupted by God, and how another spiritual writer used to tell the story of a wise, elderly professor who towards the ends of his days said how he used to hate being interrupted when he was doing his work, but that wisdom had taught him that in fact the interruptions were his work. I think there is a truth that if we allow ourselves to be interrupted by God, that can be a good thing. Breaking from our routine, breaking from what we regard as so important when in fact it is often not that important, can lead to moments of new learning, new grace, and new spirit. So on the Feast of Pentecost, the very simple message, and yet I think important message I'd like to share, is that it is good to break from your routine. It is good to allow yourself to be interrupted. When you allow that, the Spirit can work.